Chosen one. You are not here by accident, and this moment is not random. Heaven aligned this message with your life at the exact second your spirit was ready to hear it. Anointed. One time has shifted, and what was delayed is now pressing in with urgency. You are standing at the edge of a supernatural breakthrough, a divine transfer that has been waiting for your obedience and awareness. The word says, "The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous," and tonight that truth is stirring in your direction. Do not let distractions steal this moment. Chosen one. God is speaking now because you are already very late to what has your name on it. Chosen one. The greatest blessings God releases rarely arrive wrapped in comfort or familiarity. They arrive carrying weight that demands obedience, discernment, and courage. I've learned this the hard way. Some of the most defining moments of my life didn't come when everything was peaceful, but when I was pressured to decide quickly before fear could talk me out of faith. That is where you are now. Heaven is not whispering casually to you. It is calling you forward with urgency because timing matters more than you realize. Anointed one. When God speaks, hesitation is not neutrality, it is resistance. Delay hardens the heart quietly, not all at once, but gradually. I've watched doors close, not because people were unworthy, but because they waited too long to move. God's blessings move on divine schedules, not human comfort zones. What is opening for you now carries provision, elevation, and alignment, but it will not wait forever. Chosen one. Scripture shows us this pattern again and again. When Adam and Eve listened to another voice, they didn't lose everything immediately, but separation began instantly. When Israel ignored instruction, wandering replaced progress. And when Saul delayed obedience, authority slipped through his fingers. These are not stories meant to scare you. They are mirrors. They are reminders that ignoring God's timing always costs more than we expect. I remember a season when I felt God telling me to let go of something that looked secure on the surface. It made logical sense to stay. People told me I was being dramatic, that I had time, but something in my spirit would not settle. When I finally obeyed, late but still obedient, I realized how close I had come to missing a door that led to everything I'm walking in now. Chosen one. Sometimes obedience feels risky because it requires surrender before proof arrives. Anointed one, your doubts do not disqualify you, but they do reveal where trust must deepen. God is not offended by your questions. He is inviting you into alignment. Faith is not passive belief. It is responsive action. Partial obedience keeps you circling the same lessons. Full obedience moves you into acceleration, and right now, acceleration is what heaven is releasing over your life. Chosen one. Understand this clearly. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you, but positioning requires movement. When we stop listening, spiritual sensitivity dulls, confusion increases, fear gains volume. I've seen people pray for peace while ignoring instruction and wonder why anxiety lingers. Peace follows obedience, not intention. Anointed one, the blessings God is preparing for you are not small or symbolic. They include provision that stabilizes your life, peace that quiets your mind, and favor that opens doors no human effort could unlock. There is a supernatural exchange taking place. What you release in obedience, heaven replaces with abundance, but the exchange requires trust. Chosen one now is not the time to wait for perfect clarity. Obedience often comes before full understanding. God is asking you to set aside what blocks your hearing: fear of loss, pride disguised as independence, impatience masked as wisdom. I've had to lay those down myself. Every time I did something lighter, stronger and clearer, replace them, anointed. One, humility is the doorway to increase. When you come to God with readiness instead of negotiation, things shift quickly. He is not asking you to perform. He is asking you to respond. When you feel the nudge to forgive, move. When you're prompted to give, act. When prayer presses on your heart, don't postpone it. These are not random impulses. They are instructions tied to your next level. Chosen one, hear this with certainty. Nothing is too hard for God to restore, multiply, or turn around. I've watched situations reverse that looked permanently broken, but restoration always followed obedience. Blessings are not only financial, but finances are often included when alignment is complete. Peace, healing, and provision move together when heaven intervenes. Anointed one, today is a decision point, not tomorrow, not later. Choose to listen, choose to obey, refuse distraction, refuse discouragement. God is not distant from you. He is attentive, present, and ready to move. But movement begins with your yes. Pause here, chosen one. Let this settle, because what comes next will explain why this moment matters more than you think and why delay is no longer an option. Chosen one. There are moments in life when something shifts behind the scenes before you ever see it on the surface. This is one of those moments. Heaven has already made a decision concerning you, even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet. I know this space well, the in-between, the place where you're still dealing with pressure, still managing uncertainty, yet something deep inside you knows the story is changing. That knowing is not imagination. It is spiritual confirmation. Anointed, one God is fully aware of everything you have walked through to get here. Nothing was missed. Nothing was minimized. Every delay, every closed door, every season where it felt like effort produced nothing, those were not signs of abandonment. They were signs of preparation. I remember seasons where I questioned whether anything was happening at all. Outwardly it looked quiet, inwardly it felt heavy. But later I understood that silence was not absence, it was strategy. Chosen one. Scripture tells us that God prepares a table in the presence of enemies. That doesn't happen after the battle, it happens while opposition is still visible. That means your breakthrough does not require the absence of resistance. In fact, resistance often increases when a decision has already been made in your favor. If things have felt more intense lately, more confusing, more emotionally demanding, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation that something is concluding. Anointed one. A verdict has already been issued over your situation. You may be surprised by how quickly outcomes begin to change once they start moving. God does not announce decisions prematurely, but when He speaks like this, it means action is already in motion. I've lived through moments where one conversation, one unexpected opportunity, one sudden opening shifted an entire season. At the time, it felt sudden. Looking back, I realized it was inevitable. Chosen one. You have prayed, waited, questioned and hoped, sometimes all in the same day. God heard every word, including the ones you never said out loud. The waiting period was not wasted time. It was alignment time. And now the waiting has ended. What comes next is not random favor. It is assigned favor. Your name has been marked for this moment, not because you were perfect, but because you remained open. Anointed one, hear this clearly. If you turn away, now you risk missing direction, not blessing. Blessing is already prepared. Direction is what activates it. This is why staying spiritually alert matters. I've seen people miss divine opportunities, not because God didn't provide, but because they disengaged too early. They assumed delay meant denial, but God was simply asking for endurance a little longer. Chosen one, you were not led here by chance. Out of countless people, this message reached you because you are approaching a season of clarity and release. You may feel tired, overlooked, or even forgotten, but fatigue often comes right before transition. I remember being exhausted in seasons right before breakthrough, not because I was weak, but because I was carrying more than I realized. Strength was being built quietly. Anointed one, you're standing at a turning point. Opposition exists because what lies ahead matters. God has seen your effort when others only saw results. He has watched your spirit stay intact when circumstances tried to wear it down. That is why He is acting now. This is not information, it is intervention. Chosen one, when God says a matter is finished, it doesn't mean the journey ends. It means the outcome is settled. Every lie spoken against you, every delay meant to weaken you, every obstacle designed to slow you down has already been addressed. I know it doesn't always feel like it in real time, but faith often recognizes resolution before evidence appears. Anointed one, the enemy's greatest deception is convincing you that God's silence meant rejection, that blocked paths meant punishment, that being unseen meant being unvalued. None of that was true. God didn't say no. He said not yet. And not yet was protection, not delay. He was preparing you for something larger than what you initially asked for, something that wouldn't crush you once it arrived. Chosen one, God saw the nights you cried alone, the moments you showed up for others while feeling empty yourself, the times you smiled publicly while carrying pain privately. Those moments did not weaken you, they refined you, and now restoration is beginning. But understand this, when God closes a case in your favor, resistance often increases briefly. It's the last attempt to shake your confidence before release. Anointed one, every tear was recorded, every silent breakdown was seen. God did not look away. He was sustaining you when you didn't know how you were still standing. I've been there, surprised by my own endurance, unsure how I kept moving forward. That endurance was not self-made. It was supported. Chosen one, you could have quit and no one would have blamed you. But you didn't. You whispered prayers instead. You kept walking even when clarity was missing. That private persistence carried more weight than public strength ever could. Some build faith on what they can see. You built yours on what you trusted. Pause here, anointed one, because in the next part I will explain why your persistence changed everything and why what's coming next will make sense of what you survived. Chosen one, there is a kind of strength that only forms in private. Not the kind that gets applauded, not the kind that looks impressive from the outside, but the kind that keeps breathing when everything inside wants to shut down. That is the strength you carry. You didn't become it overnight. It was built slowly through pressure, disappointment, and unanswered questions. And heaven noticed every step of that process. Anointed one, there were moments when giving up would have been understandable. You had reasons, you had exhaustion, you had proof that things weren't changing fast enough. But instead of letting bitterness lead you, you chose to keep moving. Sometimes that movement was loud. Other times it was nothing more than getting out of bed and choosing not to quit. That choice mattered more than you know. I want to speak from lived experience here. There were seasons when I didn't feel strong at all. I felt worn down, uncertain, and quietly afraid that I was believing for something that might never come. But looking back, those were the exact moments when my faith was being measured not by how confident I sounded, but by whether I stayed aligned when nothing made sense. That is the kind of faith you demonstrated. Chosen one. Your private perseverance created public consequences in the unseen realm. You didn't need to shout for heaven to hear you. Your consistency spoke louder than noise ever could. Every time you chose hope over despair, something shifted. Every time you refused to let go completely, something aligned. Some people build faith on visible evidence. You built yours on trust when evidence was absent. Anointed one that is rare, and rarity attracts attention. Not only from heaven, but from opposition as well. This is why the pressure intensified instead of easing. This is why confusion tried to creep in. This is why doubts became louder just as you were getting closer. It wasn't because you were wrong, it was because you were effective. You may not have known it, but you were being observed. Not in a threatening way, but in a purposeful one. In those moments when you sat alone with your thoughts, when you whispered prayers you weren't sure were being heard, heaven was active. I know that sounds hard to believe when life feels heavy. But I've learned that the quietest seasons are often the busiest in the spiritual realm. Chosen one. Every tear you shed carried weight. Not because suffering earns blessing, but because endurance refines capacity. You were being prepared to carry what's coming without being destroyed by it. Some blessings require maturity before they arrive. Some doors stay closed, not to punish, but to protect what's on the other side. Anointed one, the part of your life where you cried alone is about to look very different. Not erased, not denied, but redeemed. Places that once held pain will soon hold evidence of change. I've watched this happen in my own life. Areas I thought were permanent wounds became testimonies I never expected to share. God doesn't waste suffering, He transforms it. Understand this: what's coming is not fueled by pity, it's released because your heart is ready. The world measures progress by speed, visibility, and recognition. Heaven measures it by purity, persistence, and alignment. You stayed when there was no applause. You kept believing when others walked away. That mattered more than any outward achievement. Chosen one. Things are beginning to be undone that once felt unfixable. It starts quietly, often in the same places where doubt once lived. Those moments when you wondered if God remembered you, that's where restoration begins. I've sat in that silence. I've asked those questions. And I can tell you with certainty, forgetting was never part of the equation. Anointed one. The inner war you fought was real. Voices told you to stop hoping to protect yourself by expecting less, to disengage emotionally, so disappointment wouldn't hurt as much. You didn't ignore those voices because you were fearless. You ignored them because you trusted God's character more than your emotions. That decision ended a test you didn't even know you were taking. Your breakthrough did not come from avoiding fear. It came from choosing trust while fear was present. You worshipped when anxiety wanted control. You showed up when logic said retreat. That is what separates those who merely believe from those who are entrusted with greater responsibility. Chosen one, when you decide to trust God more than how you feel, uncertainty loses its grip. Clarity doesn't always arrive instantly, but confusion no longer dominates. That shift is happening now. You are stepping out of survival mode and into alignment. Not because circumstances suddenly became easy, but because your foundation became stronger. Anointed one. Everything has already been decided in your favor. That doesn't mean there won't be moments of doubt ahead. It means doubt no longer gets the final word. God is active even when things appear quiet. His abundance doesn't depend on what you see. His presence doesn't depend on who stays or leaves. You are exactly where you need to be. Not late, not forgotten, not behind. Prepared. Let that truth settle. Chosen one. There comes a moment when everything you've survived begins to make sense, not intellectually, but spiritually. You may still be standing in the middle of unanswered questions, yet something inside you has shifted from panic to peace. That shift is not emotional relief, it is alignment, and alignment is what activates what heaven has already decided. Anointed one. God remains fully engaged with you even when things appear quiet. Silence has never meant absence. I've learned that some of God's deepest work happens when there is no visible movement at all. In those seasons, it's tempting to rewrite the story in your mind, to assume delay means disinterest, or that lack of confirmation means lack of care. But the truth is, this God does not abandon what He has already assigned. You may feel like you have little right now, little energy, little clarity, little proof. But heaven's supply is not measured by your perception. I remember seasons when my resources were thin and my confidence thinner, yet somehow I was sustained beyond logic. That sustaining wasn't accidental, it was intentional. God keeps people alive in seasons they couldn't survive on their own because something ahead requires their presence. Chosen one. Even when people step back, God steps closer. That's a pattern, not a coincidence. When familiar support fades, it often means you're being trained to hear a clearer voice. Not every separation is loss. Some are recalibrations. Some are necessary quietings, so you can recognize direction without interference. Anointed. One, God's plan does not get delayed the way human plans do. You are not behind schedule in heaven's accounting. You are at the exact moment required for what is next. I know that contradicts how it feels. Feelings are persuasive, but they are not prophetic. God's word determines timing, not pressure, not comparison, not fear. There were moments in my own life when I doubted what God had clearly spoken to me earlier because current conditions didn't match the promise. That's when I learned one of the hardest lessons: never doubt in the dark what God made clear in the light. If He said it when things were calm, it remains true when things are chaotic. Chosen one, now is the time to speak with confidence, even if your voice shakes. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means refusing to let fear make your decisions. When you choose confidence over anxiety, you signal trust, and trust activates movement. This isn't about saying the right words. It's about standing in agreement with what God has already secured. Anointed one, you are not entering unknown territory alone. The path ahead has already been cleared, even if you can't see every step yet. You are not responsible for figuring out every detail. You are responsible for staying aligned with the inner calm God provides as confirmation. That calm is not passive, it is directive. Never assume your past challenges define your future. They prepared you, they do not predict you. I've seen people disqualify themselves mentally because of where they've been. God does the opposite. He uses history as training, not as limitation. Your future is shaped by God's word over you, not by the weight of your past. Chosen one. This season is about stepping fully into who you already are, not striving to become someone else. You are positioned for purpose now. The challenges you endured sharpened you so you could carry what's next without collapsing under it. You are about to recognize opportunities you would have overlooked before. You are about to receive abundance without being overwhelmed by it. Anointed one, your capacity has increased. That's why the pressure was intense. God does not place weight on structures that can't support it. You were reinforced quietly, strengthened privately, prepared without announcement. And now the results of that preparation are beginning to surface. This is not a short reprieve. This is not a temporary lift. What is opening for you is meant to last. A new reality is forming, one marked by clarity, stability, and alignment. You didn't come this far by accident. God sees the desire in your heart, the patience you practiced, the focus you maintained, even when answers were slow. Chosen one. This moment is more than words reaching your ears. It is alignment reaching your spirit. The season you were told about is this one. The door you sensed was coming is open now. The waiting has done its work. Breakthrough is not approaching, it is available. Do not hesitate here. Many retreat right before release, letting fatigue or distraction convince them to step back. Don't forfeit what you've already gained in the unseen. The fullness of what's prepared is unlocked through agreement, through faith that says yes, even when nerves are present. Anointed one, let this truth resonate within you. Let it settle beyond emotion and into certainty. God is not finished speaking. Direction will continue to unfold, clarity will increase, and movement will follow alignment. You are not walking alone. Your steps are covered. Your future is secured. Proceed in peace, not because everything is visible, but because everything has already been decided. Chosen one. There is a sacred transition that occurs when faith moves beyond expectation and becomes lived agreement. This is not a loud moment, but it is a decisive one. Heaven has already spoken, alignment has already been established, and now your life is being invited to reflect what has been settled in the Spirit. This is where many hesitate, not because they lack belief, but because belief now requires embodiment rather than anticipation. Anointed one. The season you are stepping into does not ask you to wait longer. It asks you to stand differently. Waiting refined your hearing, but standing activates your authority. There is a difference between hoping God will move and knowing He already has. You are being shifted from preparation into stewardship, from survival into responsibility, from prayer into posture. I remember a moment in my own life when God stopped comforting my fear and started trusting my obedience. It felt unfamiliar. Silence replaced reassurance. Responsibility replaced explanation. At first, I thought I had done something wrong. Later, I realized God had done something right. He was no longer training me to endure. He was positioning me to carry. Chosen. One faith at this level does not shout. It does not chase signs. It does not demand proof. It rests with clarity and moves with intention. It understands that delay does not cancel promise, and silence does not mean abandonment. This kind of faith stabilizes the heart so the hands can build what heaven releases. Anointed one. How you see yourself now matters more than how others see you. Old narratives will try to resurface. Memories of past failure will attempt to reclaim authority. Familiar fear may whisper that safety lives behind you instead of ahead of you. Do not agree with those voices. Agreement gives power. Alignment removes it. There were seasons when I kept replaying past mistakes, not because they defined me, but because they were familiar. Familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar promise. But promise requires trust, and trust requires release. When God forgives, He does not revisit. When He restores, He does not hesitate. Chosen one. When you say, I trust God more than my emotions, something breaks quietly inside. Fear loses its seat. Confusion loses its influence. You stop asking how it will happen and start preparing for when it happens. That shift does not change God's plan. It changes your position within it. Uncertainty may still knock, but it no longer lives with you. Doubt may still speak, but it no longer decides. You are learning to move without seeing every step, and that is not recklessness. It is discernment matured through endurance. Anointed One, everything concerning your future has already been decided in your favor. This truth does not remove effort, but it removes panic. You no longer have to rush. You no longer have to compare. You no longer have to explain yourself to be validated. Authority grows best in quiet confidence. God remains active even when life appears still. Stillness is not stagnation. Often it is consolidation. Strength gathers before expansion. I have watched God reduce motion before increasing impact, not to frustrate his people, but to stabilize them for what is coming. Speak with grounded confidence now. Not defensive confidence, not loud confidence, but calm assurance. The kind that does not need to convince others. The kind that flows from trust rather than control. That confidence carries weight in both visible and unseen realms. The road ahead is not unknown to God. It has already been cleared. You are not required to predict every obstacle. You are required to remain responsive to peace. Peace is not avoidance. Peace is guidance. What aligns with peace deserves attention. What drains peace deserves reconsideration. Chosen One, your past did not disqualify you. It prepared you. Every disappointment refined discernment. Every delay strengthened patience. Every loss clarified purpose. Nothing was wasted. You did not survive those seasons by accident. You are entering a time where opportunity and responsibility arrive together. This is not only increase, it is influence. Influence over decisions, influence over direction, influence over outcomes. That is why integrity now matters more than ever. Your capacity has expanded. That is why pressure increased before release. God does not entrust weight to what cannot support it. You were reinforced quietly, without applause, without explanation. That strengthening is now becoming visible. This is not a temporary elevation. This is a change in trajectory. Survival is yielding to stability. Reaction is yielding to intention. Waiting is yielding to movement. Remain steady. Stay aware. Move forward with trust. You are ready. Chosen One. Something subtle but powerful is happening within you right now. It is not loud, dramatic, or chaotic. It is steady, deliberate, and deeply intentional. This is the stage where inner alignment becomes outer movement, where what God settled in your spirit begins asking for expression in your choices, habits, and direction. This moment matters because momentum is being formed. Anointed One. Many people pray for breakthrough but hesitate when consistency is required. Breakthrough is not sustained by excitement. It is sustained by alignment. Alignment shows up in how you steward peace, how you respond to pressure, and how you choose trust when outcomes are still forming. This is where your authority becomes visible. I want to speak honestly from experience. There was a season when everything in my life began changing quietly. No announcements, no applause, just small shifts in how I thought, spoke, and reacted. At the time, it felt uneventful. Later, I realized those shifts were building the foundation for everything that followed. God often changes the structure before he changes the scenery. Chosen One. You are learning to live from conviction rather than reaction. Reaction is driven by circumstance. Conviction is anchored in truth. When conviction leads, fear loses leverage. When fear loses leverage, clarity increases. This is why your responses are changing. You no longer panic the way you used to. You pause, you listen, you choose differently. Anointed One. Your discipline now matters more than your desire. Desire starts journeys. discipline sustains them. The habits you are forming in this season will either support what is coming or resist it. God is not asking for perfection. He is asking for consistency. Small, aligned decisions compound into significant outcomes. You may notice that some distractions no longer satisfy you. Conversations feel shallow. Old patterns feel heavy. This is not rejection of people or places. It is refinement of appetite. When God prepares you for more, He adjusts what you crave. You begin desiring clarity over chaos, depth over noise, purpose over comfort. Chosen one. This season requires emotional maturity, not emotional suppression, but emotional leadership. You acknowledge what you feel without allowing it to control you. That is strength. I remember when I learned to sit with discomfort without rushing to escape it. That skill changed everything. It taught me that discomfort often signals growth, not danger. Anointed one, you are being trusted with timing. Timing is sacred. Rushing ahead creates friction. Lagging behind creates loss. Staying present creates flow. God is teaching you to move when prompted, pause when guided, and rest when necessary. This rhythm protects you from burnout and keeps you aligned. There will be moments when old fears try to reassert themselves. They may sound convincing. They may feel familiar. But familiarity does not equal truth. Those fears belonged to earlier versions of you. You honor the past by not letting it rule the future. Growth requires letting go of survival strategies that once kept you safe. Chosen one, your environment is responding to your inner shifts. Some connections may fade naturally, others may strengthen unexpectedly. This is not loss, it is sorting. Alignment attracts what belongs and releases what does not. Trust this process. God is not removing support, He is refining it. Anointed one, patience is becoming your strength. Not passive patience, but active patience. The kind that keeps preparing while waiting. The kind that remains faithful without constant confirmation. That patience positions you to receive without panic when the moment arrives. You are learning to recognize peace as confirmation. Peace does not mean absence of challenge. It means presence of assurance. When peace accompanies a decision, pay attention. When peace leaves, reassess. This discernment will guide you more accurately than emotion ever could. Chosen. One, abundance is not only financial, it is mental clarity, emotional stability, spiritual confidence, and relational wisdom. These forms of abundance create sustainability. God does not just want to bless you, He wants to establish you. Your identity is stabilizing. You no longer need to prove who you are. You are becoming comfortable with being unseen while growing. That humility protects the blessing. I have seen many rise quickly and fall faster because foundation was ignored. You are being built slowly, and that is mercy. Anointed one. What you are stepping into requires stewardship, not striving. Stewardship honors what is given. Striving tries to force what is not ready. You are learning the difference. That wisdom will preserve what God releases. This is a season of embodiment. Truth moving from head to heart to hands. Faith becoming habit. Alignment becoming lifestyle. This is how lasting change is formed. Remain attentive. Stay grounded. Move steadily. You are exactly where you need to be. Chosen one. As you continue forward, remember that obedience does not always feel dramatic, but it is always powerful. The smallest aligned action can unlock momentum you could never force. Honor the quiet instructions. Respect the gentle nudges. Celebrate progress that no one else sees. Heaven responds to faithfulness long before visibility arrives. You are not overlooked, you are being established. Each steady step is reinforcing your foundation, ensuring that what comes next will not shake you. This is how permanence is built. Stay faithful in the ordinary, because the extraordinary is already forming around you. Continue forward with courage, patience, humility, discernment, gratitude, trust, and unwavering spiritual awareness always present. Chosen one. Something profound is stabilizing within you now. Not excitement, not adrenaline, not urgency, but certainty. This is the phase where faith matures into knowing. You are no longer driven by the question, "Is God with me?" You are beginning to move from the assumption that He is. That single internal shift changes how you walk, how you decide, and how you endure. Anointed one. Many people confuse urgency with calling. Urgency feels loud. Calling feels grounded. In earlier seasons, urgency kept you moving because fear of loss was close. Now, alignment keeps you moving because trust has taken root. You are no longer chasing reassurance, you are carrying it. I remember when this change first happened in my own life. I noticed I stopped over praying for confirmation and started acting from clarity. Not recklessly, steadily. Fear didn't vanish, but it stopped leading. I realized God wasn't asking me to keep proving my faith. He was asking me to live from it. Chosen one. Your inner world is reorganizing. Thoughts that once dominated you now pass through without permission to stay. Doubt still knocks, but it is no longer welcomed in as a resident. This is not suppression, this is authority. You are learning how to govern your inner life, and that governance is preparing you for influence beyond yourself. Anointed one before God entrusts external responsibility. He establishes internal leadership. He does not rush people into visibility who are still unstable privately. What He is building in you now is rooted, not reactive. That is why this season feels quieter than you expected. Quiet does not mean inactive, it means reinforced. You may notice you are less interested in explaining yourself, less driven to justify your decisions, less affected by being misunderstood. That is not detachment, it is discernment. You are learning that clarity does not need consensus. Obedience does not require approval. Chosen one discernment is becoming more important than effort. You do not need to push harder right now. You need to listen deeper. God often guides through restraint rather than force. Knowing when not to move protects you just as much as knowing when to act. Opportunities may begin appearing quickly. Some will look impressive, some will look urgent. But speed is not a signal of alignment. Assignment is recognized by peace, not pressure. You are learning to ask different questions now, not can I, but should I. That shift will save you from unnecessary detours. Anointed one. Patience is no longer something you are enduring. It is becoming something you wield, not passive patience, but active restraint. The kind that waits without anxiety and prepares without panic. That kind of patience positions you to receive without fear when the door opens. There may still be moments when old survival instincts resurface. They will feel familiar. They may even sound wise. But those instincts were formed in seasons of lack, not abundance. They kept you safe then, but they will limit you now. Growth requires honoring the past without letting it dictate the future. Chosen one. Your environment is responding to your internal shifts. Some relationships may naturally distance, others may deepen unexpectedly. This is not punishment or reward, it is alignment. When your frequency changes, what resonates with it changes too. Trust the sorting. Anointed One. Your identity is stabilizing. You no longer need to prove your worth through productivity or sacrifice. You are learning that value does not increase through exhaustion. It is revealed through stewardship. God is not impressed by burnout. He is honored by obedience. I've watched people sabotage their own next season because they mistook rest for laziness and clarity for complacency. You are learning something different. You are learning how to move without striving, how to build without forcing, how to trust without collapsing. Chosen One. This is the season where small decisions carry large weight, not dramatic decisions, daily ones. How you speak to yourself, how you manage your energy, how you respond to frustration. These choices are shaping the container for what God is releasing. Anointed One. Abundance is not only something you receive, it is something you sustain. God does not just want to bless you, He wants to establish you. Establishment requires rhythm, boundaries, and discernment. You are learning all three. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is happening. Resist the urge to manufacture movement. Stillness can be strategic. I have learned that God often slows external motion when internal integration is happening. What integrates deeply lasts longer. Chosen One. Humility is becoming your protection, not false humility, but grounded awareness. You know who you are, and you no longer need to announce it. That humility keeps doors open longer than ambition ever could. Anointed One. The confidence forming in you now is quiet but immovable. It does not need applause. It does not fear obscurity. It knows that timing is as important as ability. You are learning to trust God's pace, not just His promise. This season is not about proving readiness, it is about living from it. Faith is becoming habit. Trust is becoming posture. Obedience is becoming instinct. Remain attentive. Stay grounded. Move with discernment. You are not rushing. You are not lagging. You are aligned. Chosen One. There is a deep settling happening now, the kind that reaches places words cannot easily touch. This is not excitement rising and falling. This is not emotion peaking and fading. This is grounding. This is establishment. This is the moment when your spirit stops bracing for impact and starts trusting the ground beneath its feet. You are not waiting for permission anymore. You are becoming permission. Anointed One, you have crossed an invisible threshold. Nothing external announced it, yet everything internal recognizes it. The striving that once fueled your prayers is dissolving. In its place stands a steady awareness that God is not about to act, He already has. You are no longer positioned at the door. You are standing inside the room, learning how to live there. I want to speak honestly from experience. There was a time when I believed breakthrough would feel explosive. I thought alignment would arrive with fireworks, instant relief, dramatic confirmation. But what actually came was quieter, heavier, more serious. It felt like responsibility settling onto my shoulders, not as burden, but as trust. That was the moment I realized God wasn't just changing my circumstances. He was changing my role. Chosen One. Heaven does not rush people into permanence. It establishes them slowly so they do not collapse under what arrives. That is why this season feels deliberate, measured, intentional. You are not being withheld from blessing. You are being secured within it. Stability is being formed so that what enters your life does not destabilize you. Anointed One, you are learning the difference between anticipation and embodiment. Anticipation waits for something to arrive. Embodiment lives as though it already has. Your thoughts are changing. Your reactions are changing. Even your silence is changing. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding from alignment. There was a time when uncertainty dictated your decisions, when you needed constant reassurance to move forward. That time has passed. Now clarity leads quietly. You may not always feel confident, but you feel anchored. That anchor is not self-belief. It is God awareness, and that awareness steadies everything else. Chosen one. The way you handle stillness now is different. Stillness no longer feels like delay. It feels like integration. You are allowing truth to settle fully before acting on it. That patience is not weakness, it is wisdom. I have seen too many people move quickly and lose what they gained because they never allowed stability to form. You are not repeating that pattern. Anointed one, you are becoming comfortable with unseen growth. You no longer need visible progress every day to believe something is happening. You trust process now. You trust timing now. That trust did not come easily. It was forged through disappointment, confusion, and seasons where nothing made sense. That is why it holds weight. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos has decreased. What once felt normal now feels disruptive. This is not judgment, it is discernment. Alignment sharpens sensitivity. You are no longer willing to live internally fragmented just to maintain external peace. Wholeness matters to you now. Chosen one. God is refining your internal language. How you speak to yourself, how you frame situations, how you interpret delay. This matters because language shapes direction. You are learning to speak from truth rather than reaction. That shift alone will change the outcomes you experience. There were times when you tried to control uncertainty by overthinking. That strategy helped you survive earlier seasons, but it will not serve you now. Control and alignment cannot coexist. Trust requires release. You are learning to let God hold outcomes while you steward obedience. Anointed one. Your obedience is becoming quieter but deeper. You no longer need dramatic instructions. A subtle nudge is enough. A gentle discomfort is enough. You recognize the voice because familiarity has been built through consistency. That is maturity. You are also learning that not every challenge requires immediate resolution. Some things resolve simply by losing your attention. When fear is no longer fed, it weakens. When doubt is no longer entertained, it fades. You are learning what deserves energy and what does not. Chosen one. Your relationships are adjusting. Some feel closer, others feel more distant. This is not accidental. Alignment reorganizes connection. People who once had access may not anymore. People who once felt peripheral may now feel central. This is not about hierarchy, it is about resonance. Anointed one. Your sense of purpose is clarifying, not as a single assignment, but as a way of being. Purpose is no longer something you chase. It is something you carry into every environment. That makes your presence impactful, even when your role seems ordinary. I have learned that God often hides great transitions inside ordinary days. Nothing looks different on the surface, yet everything is different underneath. That is where you are. Do not dismiss this season because it feels simple. Simplicity is often the final stage of complexity resolved. Chosen one, abundance is becoming multidimensional for you. It is not only financial provision, though provision will come. It is mental clarity, emotional regulation, spiritual confidence, relational discernment. These forms of abundance ensure sustainability. God does not bless recklessly, He blesses wisely. You are also learning restraint. Not every truth needs to be spoken. Not every insight needs to be shared. Wisdom knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence is not fear, it is precision. You are learning that now. Anointed one, humility is anchoring you. Not self-diminishing humility, but grounded humility. You know what you carry, yet you do not need to announce it. That humility will protect what God is building. Pride attracts attention. Humility attracts longevity. There may be moments when impatience tries to return, when you wonder why things are not moving faster, when you feel the urge to push. Pause there. That urge is not alignment. Alignment moves without strain. Trust the pace. God is not slow. He is exact. Chosen one. You are not being prepared for a moment. You are being prepared for a season. Seasons require rhythm, not intensity. You are learning to live sustainably, to move consistently, to rest intentionally. That rhythm will carry you further than bursts of effort ever could. Your discernment is sharpening daily. You are sensing more than you speak, seeing more than you explain. That awareness is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to guide you. Use it gently. Use it wisely. Anointed one, this is a season of internal authority. You do not need external permission to trust God. You do not need consensus to obey. You do not need applause to continue. That independence is not rebellion. It is maturity. You have come too far to return to old patterns, too far to shrink back into survival, too far to doubt what God has already confirmed. This is not the time to retreat inward. This is the time to remain steady outwardly. Chosen. 1. Everything you are experiencing now is forming permanence. This is not temporary growth. This is not emotional elevation. This is structural change. Foundations are being laid that will support what comes next. Remain present. Stay receptive. Honor the quiet work. You are not drifting. You are being established. Chosen one. As this moment closes, do not rush past what has already begun. Heaven is not approaching. You are standing inside your appointed time. The transfer you have sensed is already in motion, and what was delayed has now aligned with divine precision. This is your Kairos moment, anointed one, where obedience meets fulfillment and faith meets manifestation. Receive this now with a settled heart. God has gone before you and remains beside you. Your steps are covered, your path is guarded, and your future is held in His hand. What you agreed with in the Spirit will soon speak in the natural. Do not fear the pace. Do not question the process. Remain faithful, remain aligned, and remain grateful for what is unfolding even now. Chosen one. Let peace be your confirmation. Let gratitude be your posture. Let obedience be your response. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you are not late. Everything has converged exactly as it was written. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that provision, clarity, and favor are meeting you step by step. If this word has settled in your spirit, seal it with agreement. You may share your confirmation below as a quiet testimony of faith, or pass this message to another who is standing at their turning point. And if you choose to remain connected to this flow, stay with this channel as more direction unfolds. Proceed now in peace, chosen one. The blessing is released. The timing is right. And what God has promised, He is faithful to complete. Amen.